Hey everyone, Tech Steve here, and on this video, I'm going to show you how to configure the Hisense U6H to the Xbox. So sit back and relax, and let's get started. All right, before we jump into this, the first button you want to hit on this remote control is the menu button. And then you'll get this sidebar. So the first thing you would do under picture is make sure that you have it set up for gaming. And this gives the TV lower latency than normal. Next thing you would do is go down here where it says HDMI format, and you want to make sure that it says enhance. And this gives you the ability to play 4K content, so make sure you go ahead and switch that. Another option I want to show you is gaming zone. Under gaming zones, you can see there's a few settings in here, like your black levels and white levels, and you can adjust that any way you want. Also, you can see that instant game response is on, and that's called ALLM. So let's go over to the Xbox to get that set up. Another thing I want to point out, if you hit the input button, you can see that it didn't label the HDMI correctly for some reason. So if you want to label it, just hit the right arrow on the remote control, and then you can go up here and you can remove whatever is labeled as right there and name it anything you want. So as you can see, I changed it to Xbox, I hit the checkbox, and now it's labeled Xbox. Next, we're going to go into the gaming console. Now we have the TV set up. Let's go into the settings of the Xbox. The first thing you can do is go into your audio and volume, and you can see there's some options here, but before you do that, go over here to where it shows audio test and details. Now, if you do have TV speakers only, you can see that it will support uncompressed stereo as well as Dolby Digital and DTS and Dolby Atmos. So what you can do is go over here, and then we're going to switch Dolby Atmos. It's going to ask you if you have a receiver. Just hit yes, and the TV should automatically have that Dolby Atmos sound when available. Now, if you need to, you can go down here to where it says audio setup, and this gives you a demonstration of how the different sounds are, and it gives you a little icon in the corner. We got DTS, and we have Dolby Atmos. But Dolby Atmos is more for someone who has a full home theater system, not just 2 TV speakers. So I'll just put it back on stereo uncompressed. So the next thing you can do, and again, you can mix this up if you want, is go ahead and calibrate HDR for games. And you can do this on PlayStation as well. What you want to do is go ahead and hit the next at the bottom, and then you want to use the arrow on your Xbox controller to make it look more like the bottom box there. So I'll just keep messing around with this and adjust it just a little bit so it looks about right. And just finish up these steps. Once you got everything done, this shows you the before and the after calibration. And the one thing that you will notice is that in the calibration image, that's not blown out. And then just press on done. And you can calibrate your TV as well. I'm not going to do that, but I'm just going to show you the different steps because this is going to pertain to using the remote control and going through all the different settings and adjusting the brightness so this eye looks better. But with the TV in gaming mode, usually it's pretty accurate compared to going in here and fooling around too much. But there's all the different screens that you can do. And I also want to show you guys the video modes. And you can see this TV supports everything that has to offer. You have your auto low latency, your variable refresh rate, 4K, HDR, Dolby Vision gaming. So it's going to handle everything you need. And if you go into details, you can see it's a 60 hertz television. This TV does not support 120 hertz and everything I just told you. But the last thing I want to do, just to see if we can override the system by going into your video fidelity and overscan and manually adjusting it. Now, we'll tell you that if we get higher resolution out of this TV, the maximum it could do is 4K at 60 frames per second. But we're going to try 1440 and see if I can get 120 hertz. Keep resolution, and you can see that the inputs will accept 1080p at 120 hertz, not 1440, but this is a 60 hertz panel, so just keep that in mind that it is not going to give you that true gaming experience that you want. But overall, that's pretty much all the settings that you need to know when using the Xbox. From there, they also have a feature called Dolby Access, and if you go into here, you see you have all these different options like your Dolby Vision. There's also some settings. And again, this is a plug-in. that you can use on your Xbox, but it is going to require Dolby Atmos headphones that you can use with some adapters.
Next to you.